What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? I'm back at it again. Oh boy, it's gonna. I'm gonna be butchering some names here for the UFC fight night in Washington D.C. Can't believe there's only after this one there's only two more events for the year, and then it's like after December 21st won't be another fight event until January 25th. So that's a while. But in this fight night, it's gonna be Overeem fighting, damn, Rosen Street. I guess Rosen Street. It's not a whole. There's not a whole lot of like. There's not a whole lot of super fights. I guess you will. Well, it's not a super stacked card, is what I meant to say. There's good fights, I think, in the main card of this. Like you know, as far as the main card, I'm really interested in the co-main event and the one that kicks off the main card. That's actually my favorite fight on this whole card. Cody Stamann versus Sonya Dong. I'm I'm really excited about this fight because you got what number 9 versus number 13. Sonya Dong's looked really good his last few outings. Cody's no, Cody Stamann. He's no slouch. You can tell he comes from a wrestling background. Uh, looks like he likes to slug out with guys, or at least you know. I'm not me personally. I can't remember many of his fights. I'm sure I've seen one or two. Um, I usually watch highlights before I make predictions. I watch highlights. I study everything I see. Sometimes I may or may not watch, you know, some losses, and I'll watch a couple fights. Uh, I see Stamann's mostly a wrestler, and a pressure fighter, but you know, he tends to throw wide. He tends to throw a lot of wide stuff, wide hook, just hooks, left, right, left, right, left, right. It's interesting that he likes to throw uh, left high kick from orthodox stance, or a left kick from orthodox stance to the body a lot. Um, but Song Yadong, I said it wrong. Song Yadong, though. My man's footwork is just like it's out. I mean, it's beautiful. It's in out. Here, left. I mean, he's just fleet on his feet. Loves to throw that right hand. I think I don't know what the size difference is here, or at least on paper. Let me see. Oh yeah, on paper, Yadong's 2 inches taller. He has a 3-inch reach advantage. You know, I can, I see him. He'll definitely fight behind the jab, and I see him probably throwing more straights with that right hand. Just right cross afterward in this fight. He's clearly the better striker. You know that's a problem for Cody, and the footwork of Yadong, the footwork of Yadong. You know he, we've seen him go move on off of the back foot before, and he usually does pretty well. No one's really able. I have the opponents he's faced haven't really been able to cut him off. I don't see Cody Stamann being able to do that either. I think he's going to be, flat footed compared to Yadong in this fight. He's going to be looking for him. The wrestling's no joke for Stamann, but I think he might be able to take him down. Maybe once or twice, but I don't think he'll be able to keep him down. What I see in this fight, what I see in this fight, from what I've seen of what these guys have done in the past, I see Yadong just, I see him outclassing Stamann. Yeah. As far as, what I think, how I think this fight will go, I think Song Yadong is going to win. Either knockout or TKO, first or second round. I think Cody will come in very aggressive, and Yadong will just pick his shots, counters, all night. Now the fight that comes after this one. I had to look at the deal to see. Okay, this one I had to think a lot about. The Aspen Lad versus, here's another name I'm gonna butcher. Aspen Lad versus Yana Kunitskaya. I hope I said it right. I don't think I did. If I didn't, I'm sorry. This one, it gave me the most trouble trying to figure out who's gonna win. Watching highlights back and forth, watching their last fights, watching their last losses. Because I guess I'm a little, I can be a little biased to hype trains. So I try to, the hype trains, I try to be as objective as I can about. Like, when I first watched highlights, I was thinking, you know, Yana, I'm just going to say her first name. I'm not even trying to pronounce that last name again. But Yana, what I remembered, I seen that she likes a jab, spinning back fist, turning, and then back kick out, and had a pattern of throwing that a lot. And then, I seen what Ladd did to Evinger, and I'm like, you know, the wrestling of Ladd is no joke. But then, um, I'm searching on YouTube and I see a lot of I see the Aspen Ladd versus Cynthia Calvillo fight keeps popping up. So I'm saying, okay, let's check this out. And then I remembered, okay, Ladd's fighting at bantamweight currently, and Calvillo's been at strawweight since she debuted. So, let's see how this goes. Obviously, Ladd was smaller back then, earlier in her career. But what you did see is, apart from the usual, what got Ladd knocked out against Durandamy, not moving her head, keeping her head on center line, just all they needed was a setup. All Durandamy needed was a setup to make that left hand that Ladd throws, looks to counter with every time there's an exchange. He always looks for that left hand. So she just baits that left hand or baits a commitment with that left hand, then straight right down the center. But so we already know that Ladd just keeps her head on center line most of the time. But watching that fight, you see Ladd having trouble in the clinch with Calvillo. Calvillo was bigger than her in that fight. And then once she took her down, I didn't watch the whole fight. I just watched a little bit to see. And then yeah, when Ladd had her head up against Fitz, she did go for the armbar. Obviously, she didn't get in that first round. But is trying to remember. Yeah, I watched her fight with Tanya Evinger. Aspen Ladd's fight with Tanya Evinger. First of all, Evinger was bigger than Ladd. And in the beginning, once she clinched up with Ladd had problems with her. She had problems with her at first, then she was able to get like plum clinch. And when you control someone's head, wherever you move that head, everything else is gonna follow. And then, that scramble off of Evinger's takedown, and then it showed me where Ladd is at her best. And she's at her best when she's when the fight's on the ground and she has top position. That's when she's at her most dangerous. But, on paper, the UFC has both these girls at the same height. Which is not true, Evinger is taller than Aspen Ladd is. You could see that she was bigger than Aspen Ladd in that fight. You could see that. Both of these girls have fought Tanya Evinger before. And, Yana, she's taller than Evinger. So if Evinger's, on paper, she's 5'7", then Yana's, and then on paper, Chris Cyborg, which Yana has fought both of these fighters. Chris Cyborg on paper is 5'8". Yana is like an inch taller than her, so she's like 5'9". So she definitely has the height advantage. On paper, they say, Ladd's got a 66-inch reach, my bad. I say advantage too much after that. She has a 66-inch reach, and Yana has a 68.5-inch reach, according to the UFC matchup stats. Even if that's her actual reach, 68.5 inches, and she's likely 5'9", that means she'll not only have a 2.5-inch reach advantage, now you add 3 inches on top of it. So she'll have because of her height, she'll technically have like a 5.5-inch reach advantage. But they both have the same problem when it comes to the hands and keeping their heads on the center line. And it showed in Yana's last fight. She was getting clipped a bunch by I can't remember her name. I watched that fight. But her kicks that's where she's better at on the feet, is throwing kicks, but she throws naked kicks. And if you throw naked kicks to the body of Ladd, she's gonna look to catch and she's gonna look for the takedown. In the clinch, Yana being the bigger fighter, I think she's gonna give Ladd problems in the clinch. But, it's like, to me, I just thought about the kick thing. like she could catch the kicks because Yana throws kicks naked. If she has it set up, she can land kicks all night. But, she, I don't think she will. I think she'll throw kicks naked. I think she'll just teet teet. Um, just like push kick, round kick, to legs, whatever. So now I'm leaning towards Aspen Ladd. So this is a tough matchup for me. Now that the more that I think about it, so Ladd, yeah. I think if Ladd has top position on Yana, I think fight's over for sure. I think she smashes her, especially if she passes that guard. She passes that guard once, she just starts smashing her. She'll ride her. I mean, if Yana turns on her stomach, she'll be wrist riding her and spamming her right hand or left, whichever hand's open. She'll be spamming that hand. She'll take she'll do to her what she did to Tanya Evinger. But Yana is crafty in her guard. Obviously, she tapped Evinger with the armbar. Uh, now that I thought about the kick thing, I guess I'm gonna go with Aspen Ladd. Before I even started recording, I was thinking Yana, and then once I remembered that, I guess I'm gonna go with Aspen Ladd. I think she'll be able to take her down off of the kicks and pass guard. And once she's able to pass guard, she's gonna smash her. I just the ground and pound. I think the top pressure and the ground and pound is gonna be too much for Yana. So I see Ladd. I see either a TKO knockout victory in the first or second round. All right. Exhale, man. This thing slows it. I couldn't remember. All right. Yeah. Now Stephen Struve versus Ben Rothwell. You know, I think Ben Rothwell at this point is just too predictable. You know, I think he might throw guys his height or shorter. He tends to throw left hook to set up a right uppercut. And he tries to be awkward, but you know, once you start kicking his legs, he looks to stand, and he's gonna stand with the tallest dude in the heavyweight division in the entire roster, whose experience in fighting comes from kickboxing. In Stefan Struve. Struve is good with the straights, and he's gonna be just first things first. He's gonna establish the jab, and he'll set up, he'll set up low kicks on Rothwell, or at least that's what I see. And he'll be looking to set up the straight right hand. Rothwell's always going to be dangerous no matter what. If he connects on Struve, he's going to hurt Struve. That's 100%. And it is pretty likely. I think, but what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to give what I think is most likely to happen. It's just like there's always the possibility that Rothwell can knock Struve out, whether it's overhand right or a long left hook. But if I had to, what I see it's going to be a decision victory for Struve, in my opinion. I think Struve's going to keep Rothwell at range with the jab. He's going to disrupt him with leg inside, with low kicks, inside thigh and outside thigh. I think he's going to disrupt him with that. And I think he's going to be able to land that right hand. And he'll have Rothwell respecting him the whole time. So, as far as that fight, I see it. It's a fight for Struve to win. Now, with the co-main event, you know, I always like seeing Cynthia Calvillo fight. I think is she ranked number 10 now? And then she's gonna fight Marina Rodriguez. I can't remember if I've seen Rodriguez fight. I watched her highlights. You know, she keeps her head on the center line when she's attacking. With her hands. And Calvillo, she always she dips her head to her right a lot. So anyone who throws kicks, specifically high kicks, pretty well, you know, that's a good tell. That's a good tendency you want to exploit. But you know, but this isn't about anyone else. It ain't about Joanna Jędrzejczyk or nothing. It's Marina Rodriguez versus Cynthia Calvillo. I think this is Rodriguez's. Like I said, I ain't seen her fight much. What I have seen of her, I think Calvillo's more experienced. If not, you know, I don't know who came into the game first, whether it's Rodriguez or Calvillo. I know I've seen Calvillo fight more in the UFC. But I think I think she's going to put on a clinic on this girl. I think she tags her on the feet. I think she'll tag her on the feet more often. Um, jab, bait, bait the right hand out of this girl. And then, you know, left hook, that left hook I think is going to be money for her in this fight. If it goes to the ground, this girl's in real trouble. So, and I think it either goes. I see this fight for Calvillo, and I think it's either going to be submission. It's either going to be submission, shaky cam action all day, every day. It's either going to be submission or decision. I think maybe submission and it's maybe in the second or third round for this. That was a little bit of a guess. I'm actually thinking first round. Like she could submit her in the first round. If not, it goes the distance and she just mops the floor with her. Now with the main event, Overeem versus Rosenstreich. I'm only gonna call him by that name because I think I'm more accurate with his last name than with his first name. Rosenstreich's been on a tear. He's been hurting dudes with jabs. He's been knocking dudes out with fadeaway left hooks, not even hard ones. His precision with that left hand is just, it's dangerous. What I see between him and Overeem, striking wise, I think they're pretty similar because they both come from, kickboxing backgrounds. Overeem more, Dutch kickboxing. Rosenstreich more Muay Thai, but they came from the same background, really. Problem is, they both have problems coming into this fight. For Overeem, he's been through a lot of wars. Everyone knows his chin's not what it was. and this is heavyweight, and this is the heavyweight division, and that left hand of Rosenstreich is incredibly dangerous for anyone, except maybe Ngannou. Except maybe Ngannou, but you know, but for the most part, it's a it's a dangerous that's a dangerous weapon to get hit by in the heavyweight division, especially if your chin is not there anymore. Huh. I actually thought Rosenstreich was shorter than this. On paper, they're both at. It says they're both about 6'4". Oh, if that's true on paper, dang. Overeem just has a 2-inch reach advantage in this fight. I don't know if Rosenstreich is really that tall. We'll find out. We'll find out Saturday, or y'all will find out Saturday. I'll have to work on Saturday, so I'll find out later. But whatever. That makes if they're about the same height, you know, that makes me change my opinion. Because I was gonna say I thought Rosenstreich was around 6 foot. I actually did. If that was the case, the shorter fighter probably weaker in the clinch, especially because he doesn't have the grappling experience that Overeem does. You know, but if he's 6'4", if he's the same height as Overeem, Overeem will have the reach advantage, but it's only by 2 inches. 2 inches, it can mean a lot, or it can mean nothing. Because 2 inches can be stopped by a step. I mean, that sounded weird. 2 inches can be taken away with the step. Especially if he baits Overeem into coming in. If he baits him into coming in with the hand, and then that fadeaway left hook happens, he's going to knock Overeem out. Or he baits him in and he pops him with that jab. He's going to drop Overeem with a jab. In terms of skill, I think Overeem's like a definitely more experienced version of Rosenstreich in this as far as striking goes. I think he's going to be stronger in the clinch. I think he's going to hurt him more if it goes to the clinch. But now, if that's true about their height and their reach, if they're really that close, I'm going to have to go with Rosenstreich. I think Rosenstreich will knock Overeem out. Touch him, he'll drop him with that jab. If he touches him with that left hook, it's lights out for Overeem. Apart from this main event, or apart from the main card, I mean, I looked at the prelims. You know, there's not a whole lot going on there. But those are my predictions. I hope you enjoy my videos. It's been a while since I've been back on. I think this is the first one in a month. So I'm gonna try to be on more often. It's I know it's kind of like weird that I say that, as it's the last month of the year. There's only two more events. There's only two more um, fight cards left, and then after that, it's no fight card for about a month. But you know, I'm gonna try to do this more often because I love doing this. I love giving my predictions. I love watching fights, and I love to be able to talk. To have the opportunity to talk to people about what I care about, because this is what I care about. I love doing this. You know, And I appreciate everyone who watches. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share if you feel like it, I guess. It's a little weird how I said that. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the fight night. I know I'm going to whenever I watch it. And I can't wait for next week. Next weekend, next weekend, probably the most stacked fight card. Probably the most stacked fight card of the year. 3 championship belts on the line next weekend. It's probably not going to be the biggest draw, but it's the most stacked card for sure. I can't wait. I hope you all enjoy it. Have a good one.